discombobulated, bobulated. What's the right way to say that? If something got discombobulated and it was bobulated before, no. What is it? Is bobulated the way you want it and discombobulated is the way you don't want it? And so if discombobulated is the way you don't want it, does that mean bobulated is the way you do want it? That's what I would like to know. My husband has been here and all my things are not bobulated the way I would bobulate them. So hi, how's it going? I'm Bonnie Gillespie. Welcome to the live stream. It is Friday the 13th of October 2023. Eclipse season is fully upon us and has been for a little bit because our first eclipse is tomorrow. And have you hugged yourself today? Even if you have, hug yourself again because it feels good. Make sure I know you can see me, hear me. I saw some hearts go up, so I believe that is true. I'm also looking at the chat. Let me change it to see all live chat, not just top chat, because I don't know what YouTube decides deserves top chat billing. I would actually like to see all of the chat. But wow, yeah, my setup is totally zoomed in a different direction than usual. And I'm going to try to not be fixated on that. Hello, Jackie. Good to see you. Happy Friday the 13th indeed. It is a beautiful Libra moon right now during Libra season. And of course, that's what gives us a new moon is when the sun and the moon are in the same zodiac sign. And that is now. But it's not a new moon until the degrees are the same. And so the sun has been in Libra for a couple of weeks, 3 weeks. We're almost done with Libra season, actually. Time flies. So we have, just another 10 days or so, a little less of Libra season. So the sun in Libra and then the moon, which goes around all the signs every month, comes up and meets the sun at 21 degrees, I believe, tomorrow for our new moon. But this is not just any new moon. This is, in fact, an eclipse. It is an eclipse. It is. It is indeed. It's very exciting. It is a solar eclipse. It is one in which the sun will disappear in certain parts of the world. You'll be able to actually see it happening. My husband has let me know that we will be noticing it from our very home here at the beach in LA. Very excited. Eclipses are interesting energy. They take a lot of our oomph. They are sometimes exhausting. If you have been feeling yourself being extra sleepy or just really drained, let's talk about why that might be. So the eclipse is a thing that happens when the new moon or the full moon, which we will have 2 weeks from now with our full moon in Taurus with the sun in Scorpio, that will then be lunar eclipse. What it means when we have the eclipse happen. Let me get my fan going here, y'all. I gotta get all my things bobulated. There we go. Oh yeah, you are fanning way too high though. Let's put you on a lower vibe and set you down. Beautiful. Okay, now I can be a little windswept. Okay. The eclipse itself is something that happens when the nodes are within a certain number of degrees of that new moon or full moon happening. And the nodes are not like planets. You can't go out to the nodes and like claim them as yours, like folks are trying to do with Mars right now. You can't like go to the nodes. The nodes are mathematical points. So they have a lot of power considering the fact that they are just calculations of math. But so much of what is true in our lives is calculation of math. So it's not too surprising, I suppose, except if you don't want to think about it too much. The way that the eclipses happen is that we get this energy that gets tighter in on us as the sun is the closest it's ever going to get to those nodal points, those mathematical calculations. And you can actually see over the course of the year, these 2 times a year. Right now we have them in April, May, and October, November, except these 2 are going to be both in October, but they're shifting. You can actually see, if you see the sun and moon mapped out where they meet up. You can actually see the lunation happening closer to the ecliptic and farther away from the ecliptic. And the way my coach Natalie describes these, which I really love, is it's almost like when you're wearing bangle bracelets and they cross one another. That's what the crossing of the ecliptic is, this point at which they meet. It's getting closer and closer. There is this thing called the South Node, and there's this other thing called the North Node. And the South Node is what we are having an eclipse with tomorrow. The nodes, again, not real places, mathematical points. The South Node is a drain of energy. The South Node actually pulls your energy out, or pulls the energy of wherever the things that are near it might happen to be out. And so the way I remember it is, if you're looking at your chart, the nodes are shaped like a bucket and a horseshoe. And the horseshoe is good luck. That's the North Node. That's where you're headed. It's like, that's where the energy is going to take you. That is your destiny. That is the point of attraction that we want to move toward. The bucket shaped one, that has a hole in the bucket, dear Liza, if anybody remembers that old saw, the hole in the bucket. Showing my Gen X age here, I guess, with that one, maybe a lot older than that. I don't know. Where does that, is it a Sesame Street song? Is it a Muppet song? There's a hole in the bucket, dear Liza. I could sing the whole thing. I'm not going to. I'm going to say the whole thing. No, I'm not going to. I'm not going to do either of those things, but I'm just wondering. Anyway, you tell me where that came from. I know it from childhood PBS television. So for whatever it is, that buckety South Node drain of energy, that hole in the bucket, that drain of energy is happening wherever that South Node is calculated right now in our charts. And right now, for all of us, it's in Libra. So wherever Libra is in your chart, there has been an exhausting amount of energy draining from that space. And so depending on what house it is that has Libra for you, you are feeling an energy drain potentially. Personally, Libra rising over here, as well as Libra moon, Libra Jupiter, Libra Uranus. I got a lot of Libra. I got a first house Libra. So anybody with Libra rising, you're with me on this. You got this first house Libra, and a first house South Node drains your physical energy. Like, I am sleeping so much right now. Oh my gosh, I'm sleeping so much. And I generally in the past few years have really gotten in love with sleep. I used to not sleep at all. And I mean, I seriously slept 3 hours for every 30 that I was awake. I was very, very rarely asleep, which is how I could get so much done. I was like, hey, I get an extra day every week because I'm not sleeping like all y'all. So now, of course, I not only love sleep, but with this South Node in Libra, I am sleeping because I'm just exhausted. I'm just like physically drained. And I also am aware that this energy is going to be on that Libra location for another full year. We have all through 2024, the South Node in Libra and the North Node in Aries, which we'll also talk about. Let's see who's here. My bucket. Jill, you know it, right? I'm not making this up. It is a memory from childhood. Okay, good. I'm glad that's not just me. Yes, exactly. Do not remember the dreams, and I used to all the time. Jackie, that's interesting. Yeah, when we usually have a good relationship with our dreams and then suddenly we stop remembering them. I like to think that there's a place in our brain that is actively doing other things, and it just is needed elsewhere. And the dreams are remembered somewhere, just not in that actively accessible memory right now. So hello, Grandma J, having an energy drain. I'm so sorry, honey. Yeah, yep. That physical hit can be rough. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about where Libra is in your chart. I know I have a few of you here on the live chat. Those of you watching in replay, hello. I will keep the comments open and come back around and chat with you if you would like. But for those who are live in the chat with me now during the live stream, where's Libra for you? I told you mine is first house. If you don't know where Libra is in your chart, tell me your rising, and I will tell you what house that is. 8th for Jill. So Jill, are you having a drain? This is a careful question. Are you having a drain in the areas of other people's money, sex, the occult, shadow work, transformation. No big deal, right? No big deal. That's a lot. That's a lot going on. That's a lot going on. Your money. Yep. I mean, that's kind of like, is everybody experiencing? I was saying that to Keith yesterday. We were going for a walk with Mala, the puppy. Oh, I forgot to bring Mala's bed in here. He's not going to come visit. Well, he may come visit, but if I put his bed in there, he definitely does. But anyway, as we were going on a walk yesterday, I said, I feel like everybody right now is going through a bit of a money drain because I think student loans coming back due for a lot of us. If we took out loans, small business loans during COVID times, the COVID SBA loans coming due, like it's like all at once. Let's see, Gigi here, 5th house on top of my Jupiter, rising sign is Aquarius for Jay. Okay, so let's talk through this. So Jay, if your rising sign is Aquarius, then that is going to put your 8th house as Virgo. So I'm not going there. It's going to make your 9th house. Yes, it's good because it makes your 7th house Leo, your 8th house Virgo, your 9th house is Libra. So for Jay, that means the energy drain is in your areas of expansion, higher education, international travel, the quest for learning, religion, astrology, spirituality, a lot of all of that, legal issues, all of that can be in the 9th house. Yeah. Okay. And so we've got Gigi, yes, 5th house on top of my Jupiter. Okay. So 5th house, Libra. Look, we got Nicole with 11th house. We've got Deb Marie. Okay. Libra sun. Houses, the way to figure that out, Deb, you've got a Capricorn rising. So that means that we go back to, let's see, that means you've got 12th house is, you're gonna watch me count. You've got the 12th house as Sagittarius. And that would mean you have the 11th house as Scorpio, which would mean your 10th house is Libra. So that's your business, okay. And I said I was going to go through all the houses because we have enough people here with houses all over the place. Libra 7th house for Jackie. So that's one-on-one relationships. All right, let's go through them all. So if you have, and in fact, I think I created a blog post called Eclipse Self-Care. And I'm going to toss that link in the chat right there. And for those who are watching in replay, I should have it so you could still see this in the chat. But in case you can't, it's BonnieGillespie.com/eclipse-self-care. But you can just go to BonnieGillespie.com and look for Eclipse Self-Care in the recent posts, unless you're watching this 1,000 years from now. Okay, so let's go through them all. If you have, let's start with Aries. Let's start with, where do I want to begin? Yeah, let's go with Aries rising. And then we'll just go through all the signs. Aries is always first. I know. And Pisces is always last. The thing is, Pisces doesn't care that it's last because what is time? And Aries really wants to be first. So we're just going to do it in the order that the zodiac expects. All right. So I promised Day I wouldn't put my hair up in the middle of live stream anymore because she makes these amazing reels for me and Instagram reels and the YouTube shorts. And she cuts together the stuff that I do during these live streams. And if I put my hair up, she can't cut together stuff as easily because I say things at the beginning that she wants to use with stuff at the end. You love a second take? Gemini moon, Gemini rising, love a second take. Good. Yeah, she can't cut together my early stuff as easily with my later stuff if I change my hair, because like you can't keep cutting back and forth between the hairdos. But y'all, ain't nothing from that house through that we're gonna be able to use because we're gonna have to do it again, y'all. Okay, now I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna quit talking about getting it. I'm just gonna get it. Okay, here we go. Okay, are you ready? I don't have to look at my other list because now I'm gonna use this list. Okay, here we go, y'all. If you have Aries rising, you have Libra in the 7th house. You are feeling that South Node drain and this eclipse energy in your one-to-one relationships. And that can be your lover, your husband, your wife, your spouse, your betrothed, your business partner, your attorney, even your coach, It could even be an enemy, whatever you've got as that one-on-one relationship that you go to. When I say one-on-one relationships, that's like really creating an issue right now, or you're feeling a lot of energy and focus around that. That is where the South Node, that drain of energy, is showing up in your chart, not just with this eclipse this weekend, but actually through all of 2024. You're going to have that South Node drain of energy in that house for a full year past now. The way the nodes work is they move into different signs. And again, it's a mathematical point, not a place that we can go out in the world and see it. We can't like look through a telescope and like plot it out. We can use math to do that, of course, but we can't physically see it. There is, with that, this beautiful, wonderful shift in energy that happens every 18 months. And this was July 17th, 2023, that we shifted the nodes from where they were previously, which was Taurus, Scorpio, into where they are now through all of 2024, Libra and Aries. And specifically, that Libra side is where the South Node, the drain of energy, is until the end of 2024. And technically it's into January of 2025, but you know, we'll just say all of 2024. So if you have a Taurus rising, you are feeling this drain, this South Node energy in your 6th house. And this is your day-to-day jobby job, health and hygiene, pets, employees kind of place. This is considered the mundane house. It is where we just do the day-to-day doings of life. So if you have a job where you work for someone else, that energy is there. If you have a company and people work for you, that energy is there. If you don't have a business one way or t'other, you've got this 6th house energy of just your day-to-day, and everyone has this everyday health and hygiene, and the things that you do like that are habits. And so this drain of energy could be, wow, the things that usually work for me in terms of my workout, in terms of my health, in terms of my diet, in terms of just running the household or running my business, whatever it is that you're doing in that 6th house way, just feels like it's not clicking the same way. And if that's been true since July 17th, 2023, you're going to continue the lessons of that Libra drain of energy, that South Node there in your 6th house, Taurus rising, through the end of 2023. My Gemini risings, my lovely beloved Gemini risings, y'all have a 5th house Libra. And what that means is that you are feeling this strain of energy in your house of children, childlike glee, your affairs, risk taking, your getting out on stage and taking risks, being seen. Yeah, this is like the gambling house. It's usually a lot of fun. It's like, you know, it's your kids and stuff, but this drain of energy can be that the things that usually feel like play are actually coming with a higher toll than they usually do. And of course, the balance to this, and I say this not just for Gemini, but for everyone, is where the South Node is draining energy. We look to the North Node for where we're actually getting an amplified kind of energy. We're getting a turned up version of the energy. It's just that the focus is being pulled to a different place in our charts. Okay. So with this, that means that you're, yes, maybe losing energy in one place in your chart, but you're gaining it somewhere else because energy has to go somewhere. It doesn't just drain out and go away. It actually gets transferred somewhere else. Cancer rising, you are feeling this in your 4th house, this drain that started with the July 17th ingress of the nodes into Libra and Aries. This started in your 4th house, Cancer risings. And 4th house is your foundation, your home, your house, real estate, your ancestral home, how you were brought up, your values, the things that come from your homestead, from your roots. It's at the bottom of the chart. It's a really easy way to remember that. For our Leo risings, we are looking to the 3rd house for Libra. And a 3rd house experience is where we communicate. This is social media. This is blogging, vlogging. It's all the writing that you do. It is how you show up in communication in the day-to-day. So if you're finding writer's block, if you're finding that the energy just seems to be very different around how you feel about showing up on social media and putting yourself out there, a lot of that could just be that you've got a drain in your 3rd house right now. The 3rd house is also our siblings and our close in friend group and cousins, anybody who's like super, super close, tight in like that. And so you could be having drains with those relationships as well, a Leo rising. For our Virgo risings, you are feeling this in the 2nd house. And the second house is your money. It's your love, your money, and your enoughness. I love the second house. The second house, love, money, enoughness. Like wow, what a great house, right? So, but this is money. I know we talked before about the eighth house being money, and we'll get back to the eighth house momentarily as we continue this lap. But as you think about the second house also being a money house, the way it's different is that the second house is about earned income. It is revenue from working. So it's like you put in your time card and then you get out your paycheck. That is the experience of second house money. Eighth house money, very different. So if you have like a jobby job where you go and work and you always earn a set amount of money, that's second house money. But it's also your stuff, like your possessions. And so Virgo rising, if you're feeling a drain on your money and you're feeling a drain on your possessions, it's a great time to declutter. Do some intentional moving of things out, possessions that you no longer need, so that the drain doesn't take things that you would prefer it not take. Like, just get intentional about it. Get out ahead of that energy. That's what I always like to do with that South Node drain. The Libra risings in the group, you're having a first house drain for 18 freaking months. And that is a big drain on the first house, because the first house is our body. It is our physical being. It is our personality and how we show up in the world. And I got to tell you, y'all, this was timing that I was not looking forward to, because I have been in such a drain of energy for other astrological and just personal reasons for the past few years. And I was like, okay, I'm finally going to get to this place where I enter into Jupiter perfection years. I enter into a Jupiter Fredaria. I've got like all this neat stuff happening astrologically by progression. I'm getting back to my Libra moon. I'm getting out of the balsamic and the new moon energy of a progressed moon, blah, 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 geek, doesn't matter. Point is, I got into this now with a South Node sitting in my first house, which means that all the energy that comes to the first house with that South Node is actually physically taxing. It just feels fatiguing. And the rule of thumb for all eclipses always: rest, hydrate, and bubble wrap. Rest, which means just sleep more. You're going to want to, so just do it. Allow it. It's fine. I took a nap at 8 o'clock last night and then got up at 11. Like, seriously, it was like 8:30 and I went, I'm taking a nap. And then I got up at 11 p.m. and worked until 3 or 4 or whenever I went to bed, because I just needed a nap. And I'm glad I took it, because if I kept pushing through and trying to work, it was not going to work. But that nap was fine. Hydrate on that. Let's get that water sign some hydration. Always good for hydrating, especially with moon shit. And then bubble wrap. And what I mean by bubble wrap is count to 10 energetically. Put some bubble wrap around you. Apparently, I also mean physically. Put some bubble wrap around you. I had a client who fell down the stairs, and she's like, I did not know that you meant actual physical bubble wrap. I'm like, I think maybe I do. Yes. Last year, this November eclipse last year, I had an accident physically as well. It's like, just bubble wrap. This is bubble wrap. Okay. So if you have a Scorpio rising, you are experiencing 12th house Libra South Node. And what that means is a drain on your, not mental health specifically, but issues of the mental areas that we go into. So like the places where we can go on loop, the places where we can get obsessed. This is anything that's like imprisonment of the mind. It can also be actual imprisonment. It can be systems that just aren't working for us. 12th house manages all of that, as well as our dreams and places that we go when we're not awake. All of that area can feel like it's very draining and taxing for our Scorpio risings right now. And that, again, is through the end of 2024, with the South Node being in Libra. With our Sagittarius rising, that puts this in the 11th house. And so Sagittarius rising are feeling this with your audience, your collective, your activism, your sense of righteous ire at what's going on in the world and wanting to get out there and do something about it. How you show up for your fan base, how you show up for your friend group, and how you innovate. And if all of that is feeling like just so much work right now, then that a lot of that is because of that drain that happens in that South Node energy being in your 11th house. For those of you with our Capricorn rising, you've got this 10th house Libra situation, which is where your 10th house is your career, your ambition, who you are out in public, who you are in the public eye, what that reputation is. And you may have had this amazing career ambition and excitement for everything that you were going to bring into the world. And then suddenly you feel that energy is just like, oh my God, where did it go? I was so excited about all these projects. I had all this energy for making shit happen. And being a Capricorn rising, you're going to make shit happen even if you don't have the energy for it, but suddenly you're really feeling that energy gone. That Capricorn rising is due to the South Node in Libra right now. And it doesn't mean that the business brilliance goes away. It just means you need to get more conservative with where you spend your energy. And I know conservative is a really good word to use with our Capricorn risings, because you can always figure out where you can conserve. Our Aquarius risings are experiencing Libra 9th house South Node. And that means the energy drain is on areas of travel, expansion, education, anything that is going out and learning new things. The occult, astrology is in the 9th house, legal stuff is in the 9th house. And so anything that feels expansive and growth oriented could be taking an extra tax right now. So it's a really good time if you're enrolled in a bunch of classes or signed up for a bunch of webinars or you're doing all these summits. Don't do it. Like, watch the replay. Aquarius rising, watch the replay. Watch it while you're in the bathtub. You do not have to go to everything live. I mean, and that's good advice for everybody. I know. I say that as I'm doing a live stream and hoping to have people here. You don't actually have to show up for any of it. You don't have to show up for anything. None of us do ever. Okay. I mean, really. So Pisces rising, last but certainly not least, my beloved Pisces rising, you have this 8th house energy, Libra in the 8th house. That's other people's money. For artists, that is often how we get paid, because unlike the 2nd house money where we have, put in the hours, get out the paycheck, the 8th house money is artist money. It is, I don't know where the next dollar is going to come from, but I know I'm going to create something and put it out in the world, and it is going to be paid for somehow, because that's how artists have always operated, an exchange of value for value. And so that drain can mean that any predictability that you may have gotten used to is even less so now. It could also mean your sex life is taxing, because not only is the 8th house other people's money, it is also a transformation house. And so there's transformation of energy that is sexual. There's transformation of energy that is the death house. It's where secrets are. Shadow work happens in the 8th house. It's a place where a lot of things have a before and after. And so what you will notice, my beautiful Pisces risings, is that by the end of 2024, this South Node being in your 8th house for all this time, from June 17th, 2023 until into January of 2025, you are going to really have transformed your relationship with all that juicy, wonderful, delicious 8th house stuff. Y'all, we did it. We did it. We did it. Okay. How was my second take? June was when I stopped doing stand-up. Hi, Remy. I love your brand name, 2 chairs and a wine bottle. Yeah, if you stopped doing stand-up in June, you definitely felt that energy shift and decided, yeah, this is going to be a shift that I take advantage of. Fabulous. I love it when we can look at things on the calendar and see that they marked time with something else. Oh, what was it that I was looking up? Tupac's murderer, or Tupac's alleged murderer being indicted. That situation, holy crap, that arrest. I'm a big Tupac fan here, and I remember exactly where I was when he died, and I remember the astrology of then, and I went, oh my God, is this a nodal cycle? Like, I love when something happens and I can actually look at, what is this, a nodal cycle? Is this a Saturn cycle? Is this a progressed moon cycle? There are certain things that happen that you can just take a look at the cosmic clock and see what planet is right back where it was. at the time of the event, especially if it's a long time coming, like this was. You're taking a look at like something that happened in the 90s and then now, and you go, okay, oh, okay, wait, where were the nodes? Where was Saturn? Oh my God, what's happening? Like, it's just, to me, it is so freaking cool. I love all of this. So I, of course, mapped out the entire chart and also his birth chart as well as we know it. And anyway, blah, blah, blah. Yes. Hi, Lisa. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. Jay is running a low fever. Jay, hydrate, baby. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Yes, 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 yes. And of course, see your doctor. I know you are in medical care. What questions might y'all have? And it doesn't have to be about the eclipse. What questions might you have about the woo weather, about, the state of the world, y'all? Pluto went direct this week. All my members of Live Your Chart know, because we go through the Aligned Hustle calendar every month. And we've been talking about this week. And I said this whole week, starting with the 8th of October, leading up into that first eclipse, is going to be a lot. And then as each thing has happened this week, bam, 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 I'm like, woo, that is some woo weather. Oh my gosh, so much. Hello, Kristen. Definitely thinking about things differently since South Node went into my third house. Deconstructing how I think about what has happened in the past and how. Kristen, that is a great use of third house energy, because the third house is responsible for how we learned our childhood beliefs. And those childhood beliefs, of course, become our adult beliefs. And the beliefs that we practice, the Abraham Hicks saying is, a belief is just a statement, a thought that we keep saying to ourselves over and over again. That's what makes it a belief. Because really we could just choose a different thought whenever we like and then turn it into a belief by repeating it over and over. But that rewiring of beliefs is such a good third house South Node use of energy. That's wonderful. Oh, I love it. 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 Pluto direct has definitely been having a good time with my health. I'm so sorry to hear that, Kristen. I'm so sorry. Yeah, Pluto direct at 27 Capricorn, watching what's happening with the strikes, in our labor movements in so many different industries, watching, of course, what's happening all over the world. There's such an energetic load to it all. Y'all just stay grounded. I attended a really cool eclipse event last night that a woman named Amanda held, and her brand is Aquarius Spirals, I want to say. Amanda Moreno is her name. Aquarius Spirals. Yep. Aquarian Spirals. Amanda Moreno. She doesn't know me. I guess I was on her Zoom yesterday, so I guess she knows me from that. But she held this absolutely beautiful event last night that was impromptu. Just she wanted to do an eclipse thing. And she so beautifully said, I don't have enough expertise to handle a lot of what's going on in the world right now. What I do have the ability to do is hold space energetically for what's going on. And I can role model what it is to hold space for my own energy and help guide you through holding space for your own energy, and hope that you can then role model that in your groups, however big or small. And I felt so, I had to drop off early, but I felt so grounded by the end of just her talk. She did a visualization at the end that I wasn't able to stay for. But anyway, just please make sure energetically you're taking care of yourself, because the world is a lot. Always, but especially right now. You felt Mars going into Scorpio, 6th house for Lisa. Yeah, I did too, Lisa. I'm Libra rising, so I've had Mars in the 1st house for all of this. And as soon as Scorpio went in, as soon as Mars went into Scorpio and left Libra, where Mars does not like to be, like Mars is already like cantankerous in my chart. Mars is in fall in my chart. I have a Cancer Mars natally. So here I am with a fall in Mars, and Mars is sitting here in my 1st house, not happy in Libra. The second he moved into Scorpio, I was like, oh, I'm free. I'm free. Rejoice. Rejoice. All the Libra rising say amen. Oh my God. It was so good. It was so good. Yes, 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 yes. Goodness. Okay. Jay has some surgery coming up in November. Sending you rays of white light, Jay. Jackie says Pluto rules over the government, crappy stuff like presidents and stuff, correct, with these wars? Jackie, the way, no, not necessarily. Pluto is the planet of transformation. And so here's the framework. I think the reason you're getting governments and presidents and systems and all of that, that comes from the Capricorn of it all, which is where Pluto is right now. Uh, the phrase that I like to use to help remember all of this is the planet is the what, the sign is the how, and the house is where it all shows up. I'll repeat. The planet is the what, the sign is the how, and the house is the where it all shows up. So for example, Pluto planet, what? Burn it to the motherfucking ground. Transformation energy, scraping all the way through to the bottoms of the bottoms of the bottoms and getting all of that dredged up. That's the what. Pluto loves a transformation. Pluto loves anything that is not working, not just being taken out and replaced, but being destroyed, burn it to the motherfucking ground, and then rebuild anew. That's Pluto's what. And then how is the sign it's in. Right now, Pluto's in Capricorn. So how are we seeing that happen? With our governments, with our systems, with our banking, with our international relations, with the systems that have long existed. Capricorn is a long-standing tradition sign. Capricorn is our big banking. It is any big system. It's big banking, it's housing. If we take a look at when Pluto moved into Capricorn in 2008, and all the financial sectors and real estate and everything collapsed, and we had to bail out big banking and all of these things that just went bam, bam, bam early on in Pluto moving into Capricorn. You can see that as Pluto is finishing its time in Capricorn, we are continuing these themes of what systems need to collapse. The patriarchy is a system that needs to collapse. Capitalism, a lot of people would say, is a system that needs to collapse. Certainly consumerism. You know, what are these systems that exist that are not actually all that good for us? And so a lot of what Pluto and Capricorn has revealed for us is a different way of looking at stuff that we used to just go, well, yeah, well, that's just the way it is. And Pluto in Capricorn has allowed us to go, does it have to be that way? You know, we just had Columbus Day here earlier this week. And, you know, there was a time in my life where Columbus Day was the time we celebrated the person who discovered America. And oh my God, aren't we so happy that we live in America? So let's celebrate Columbus Day. And that is not what Columbus Day is in my life anymore. And embarrassingly, probably happened way later than it should have for me. A realization that, oh, no, this meandering off course explorer who landed in a place that was already occupied and then took it over and enslaved people and raped people and killed people and took over land and then said, okay, now it's ours. We celebrate that. And we do it in the land of the free, where we're not all free. What are we celebrating here? And is this right? And that is right there, Pluto having traveled through Capricorn to make us aware that there are things that we just accept as, well, that's the way it is, that maybe we need to look at differently. And of course, I'm using just one very specific example. There are many, many, many that fall into this category. But so then take a look at where, to get to the third part of that formula, where is Capricorn in your chart? Because that is where this experience is happening in your life personally. Because with Pluto being an outer planet, we can see it operating on a systems level. We can see it operating generationally because it's so slow. And its outer planet takes a long time to move. It impacts entire generations who are born under the same 11 to 33 years, because that's how long it takes to get through a sign. And it's done, what is that, 15 years in Capricorn, and soon it will move into Aquarius and be there for 20 years. So Pluto takes a long time in each sign. But take a look at where Capricorn is in your chart. That area, that where, has had a revolution of Pluto visiting for the past 15 years. And so if I take a look at my personal chart, Capricorn is the 4th house, which is my roots, my family, my core family systems, where I come from, my ancestry, my connection to my family. And I am estranged from almost everyone I'm related to. And that was not the case at the beginning of Pluto in Capricorn. The transformation that has happened in my feeling the need to stay connected with people that I don't have that much in common with, has definitely felt that Pluto transformation. Because, Libra rising, I'm gonna make sure I'm a people pleaser. I'm gonna make sure everybody's okay. So I'm gonna stay in touch because that's what good girls do. And over the course of Pluto visiting my 4th house, I've gotten very clear on, nah, I don't need to. I don't need to stay in touch just because we share DNA. That's not a lot to have in common with somebody, actually, as far as I'm concerned. So, there's that. That is just an example. Yes, good. I'm so glad that that's so much easier to understand that way. Okay, great. Yeah, Kristen, didn't Mars entering Scorpio feel like a jolt? I was out again on another walk with Keith and Mala, and I was like, I think like minutes from now, we're going to get Mars moving into Scorpio. I'm so excited. And by the time we got home, it had moved in, and I was just like, yes, let's just come back home to a new house. Like, everything is different now. Yay. Okay, good. Fantastic. Feel the same way about St. Patrick's Day and the effect he had on Ireland. Yeah, Kristen, same. It's so funny. I was interviewed by somebody about my book years ago, and the interview happened to be taking place on March 17th, which I never had any kind of connection to any of that. Even before I knew better, it just wasn't that big a deal to me. And as he's interviewing me, he says, and I know today's your favorite holiday because you're Irish, yay, St. Patrick's Day. And I remember being like, I'm in this live interview or being broadcast, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to make him look like an asshole by correcting him. Of course, boy, wasn't I a good girl back then, because I wouldn't even stop and go, actually, no, my favorite holiday is Halloween. I don't, but I yes anded him like a good improv, good Southern girl, good Libra rising. I'm gonna make sure everybody's well taken care of. I just was like, oh well, yeah, ha 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 ha. But I remember then going, this holiday's hinky. And of course, again, the more we learn about it, the more we go, yeah, I don't think we need to be celebrating some of these holidays that we celebrate. That's kind of not a good look. That's all right. That's all right. We get on the right side of where we need to be when we need to be there, not a moment before. Ain't it always the way? Other questions y'all might have in this last little bit that we're together? Yeah, I talked about the when you know better, you do better quote in a recent Bond Blast, and how it's not really true, because you can know better and it still takes you a while before you do better, and still sometimes you're going to choose to not do better. For me, it's all about, let's just mindfully choose it. Like, don't just go along because you go along. Don't just celebrate a holiday because it's the holiday that's being celebrated. Like, really find out why. Find out why. Why are we celebrating this? Why are we doing this? Why are we into this? Yeah. Mm-hmm. You've renamed it to Happy Irish Heritage Day. Lisa, I love it. I love it. Last best thoughts for the time in between the two eclipses. Gigi, thank you. The time between the two eclipses is known as a window. You'll see the word portal being way overused out on Instagram and probably TikTok. I don't TikTok, so I don't know, but I would imagine it's not a portal. It's not I mean, as a portal is a description of a period of energy, a block of energy. Sure. Okay. Oh my gosh. Before I forget, I was just noticing. Before I forget, hang on. I'm going to come back to this. Hang on. Oh, dang, diggity dang. Where did it go? I had a link saved. This is like the Mercury retrogradiest broadcast ever, and Mercury is not even retrograde. Okay, what am I looking for? Bonnie Gillespie /teachable.com/courses. I get y'all a link. I have a discount to give y'all. What I worked on last night after my nap, y'all, was I finished the astrology vision board party wormhole. That's good, Donna. I like that. Wormhole's good. I am hosting an astrology vision board party November 18th, and I got y'all a discount code, and it's ECLIPSE. ECLIPSE, ECLIPSE. That's your discount code. Discount code. Use that discount code. If you're a member of Live Your Chart, I have an even better discount code for you because y'all get half off. Yay. So if you've been thinking about becoming a Live Your Chart member and you want to come to the Astrology Vision Board party, consider becoming a Live Your Chart member before joining the Astrology Vision Board party, because then you get Astrology Vision Board party for half off. Okay. It's lifetime access. We're doing a live event on November 18th, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Pacific. This is just after we end daylight saving time, so make sure you check the time correctly. But I would love, 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 love to have y'all join us for the Astrology Vision Board party. We have done this once before, a couple years ago. It is a party. It is a party. It is a party. Oh my gosh. It is so much fun. What we do is we go through, and Gigi, I've not forgotten you. I just need to remember to say this before we're at the top of the hour. Okay. We do a house by house by house by house by house mapping out of the vision board. We actually create your custom vision board using all the images for the houses, the way the houses are in your chart, which is different from the way the houses are in my chart and the way the houses are in someone else's chart. And then we layer in the signs for each of the houses. Then we layer in the planets and placements for each of the houses. So by the end of the vision board party, you have a custom vision board that doesn't just say like, boop, there's a picture of a new car. I want a new car. A new car is on my vision board. It is actually the car that you want in the house where you are most likely to attract it, with the sign that is most likely to bring it to you, with the planets that are most likely to make it happen the way you want it to happen, so that we're actually aligning the vision board visions with your natal chart and what is going to be coming through your chart over the course of the next year. Bam. Yes. What house do you put Angelina Jolie in, Jill? Depends. Is it a tawdry affair? Or are we talking wifey territory? Or are we talking business collaborator? Or are we talking international travels together? I mean, she could technically go in every house, honestly. Just saying. Okay, so please come join me. It will be lots and lots and lots of fun. The Astrology Vision Board party is seriously one of the very favorite things that I do. And even though I've only ever done it once, I technically did it twice because we did the live version last time in 2021. And then I immediately re-recorded everything not live so that people could buy the course on demand. And this time I am going to record the live using my slides and all the music and the playlists and everything so that it is available on demand for anyone who can't make it live, of course. Yes, we would love. We would love, love, love. Yes. Put her in all the houses. Yes. Awesome. Fabulous. So back to Gigi's question. What do we do during this time between the eclipses? The time between the eclipses is a really clarifying time, because that first eclipse is usually going to be, especially with this one being in the South Node area of our chart, is going to be very clarifying about what needs to leave, what is draining out, what needs to go, what needs to whoosh out, because that is going to, if we think about the way an eclipse shows up in our lives out in the world, suddenly the source of all of our life, the sun, disappears. It is a disconcerting experience. If we think about the beginnings of time, when they were using astrology or using astronomy and therefore predicting based off astronomy the things that would happen here on Earth, which became astrology, using that to predict, okay, when this happens, we notice this happens. We're tracking patterns that this thing that happens that looks really, really scary actually happens a couple times a year. And when it happens, this is what we can track in terms of the crops and the tides and what's available to us in terms of food and shelter because of weather, like all of this stuff that started getting predicted through all of this. What you can do after that first South Node eclipse, that solar eclipse that's happening tomorrow, is feel lighter about things in that house that we just went through, house to house to house to house. That area is going to feel lighter because there's going to be this flushing of energy. And again, it can be exhausting. So just make sure you take really good care of yourself. When that absence of light, when that removal of the sun from our view happens for that brief window of time, it is a reset button, and it allows everything to be reassembled when the light comes back in a new way. We can take advantage of that moment, that reset that happens at the end of the eclipse when we visually get the light back. We can use that moment to reset everything into what we intend it to be. Now, this does not mean we set intentions like we do under the other new moons that we have throughout the year. New moon is a great time to set intentions, but not under an eclipse. The energy's too intense. And so instead, we just stay in a place of gratitude. We are so grateful that this is happening. We love that we are getting this clarity that the eclipse provides. There's always a before and after with the eclipses. And the 2 weeks between this eclipse and the one that follows, we can really use that energy to give ourselves grace for getting used to the new way of seeing things, the new way of experiencing things, especially in the house where that South Node journey is, which is the houses that I went through for y'all. So that second eclipse that happens in October, on October 28th, is happening in Scorpio and Taurus, even though the nodes are still in Libra and Aries. So this is actually one we're going to feel in 4 houses of our chart. You're actually going to notice this second eclipse in the houses where you have Libra and Aries and Scorpio and Taurus. Scorpio and Taurus is where we had all the eclipses for the past year and a half before. So we're used to that. We're ready. This is one last check of how do we do, what do we learn in those areas of our lives. And then that relay baton gets handed off officially, and we are done with the Taurus and Scorpio eclipses for another 9 years, and at which time they will be reversed, another 18 plus years, and then they will be returned back to where they are now. So I am going to be using the 2 weeks between to be fully grateful for what the Taurus Scorpio eclipse axis allowed me to clarify over the last couple of years, and will allow me to get clearer on the clarity that comes with this first eclipse, will allow me to get clearer on what I expect from and hope for with the Aries Libra eclipses for the next 18 months. I do feel like there are things that need to be swept out with the Taurus Scorpio axis. Yeah, this is the last blast of that. The eclipse on the 28th in particular, Kristen. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, very much so. Yeah, it's like after you've moved house, and then you come back and do one last sweep through because there's just still kind of little dust bunnies. Yeah. Okay, good. Good, Jay. Surrender to that. Fall asleep. Do it. Take that nap. Y'all, give yourself a big old hug. This is a lot. This was a lot and extra. I'm like, in the part of my brain that is already analyzing today's performance, I'm like, I'm not even going to keep this live stream up. I'm just going to delete it when it's over. Nobody needs this. And I'm like, honey, why are you making that decision right now? Let the tens of people who will watch it have it. Enjoy the fun that is that first 20 minutes of who knows what. Yeah, I love y'all. Thank you for joining me. I am really excited about the vision board party. Yes, please put in the code ECLIPSE, all caps, when you check out if you would like to save $11 whole on the astrology vision board party happening November 18th with me. And of course, if you are a Live Your Chart member, check your membership area for your code because you get half off. Yay! Lifetime access. Yes. Yes. Hugs all around. Everybody. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you, Jill. Appreciate it, Gigi. Love, love, love. Great to see you, Nicole. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me. We will do this again sometime. Please remember to take care of yourselves. I'll see you on the other side of these eclipses. I can't wait to get to know the new and transformed you. Don't put that much pressure on yourself. You're already wonderful. We all are. Bye, y'all.